Hey there. So my name is Andrea. Welcome to my live stream. Not live screen. My name is Andrea, and I also go by TinyHandsTarot because I have teeny tiny hands, and sometimes I struggle with the ginormous oracle cards. You know how big they can be; they just go flying all over the place. So that's how I came up with the name TinyHandsTarot. I've never done a live stream before, so if there is somebody here, I don't know how to tell. Feel free to say hi if you want to. Welcome anybody who jumps on. Lovely to have you here. I am going to be doing just a little bit of tarot and oracle for the collective right now. If you enjoy, please feel free to like and comment and subscribe, whatever you like. And yeah, such a pleasure. I don't know about you, but I have been feeling so strange for the past few days. I am mostly just a reader. I know some things about astrology, but I definitely would not claim to be an astrologer. I stick mostly with the cards, but I do know that the past few days, so many people in my life, myself included, have been feeling this very electric, agitated energy. For a lot of people, manifesting as anxiety. For some people, a lot of excitement. It really depends on what's going on in your life. But it's been a lot. And today, I was pretty tired. I think I got a bit of a cold. My glands are swollen. So I think it's just there's too much excitement, too much energy, and now the body's just like, oh my goodness. So I thought I would do a reading and just see what comes through for us. Yeah, a little foggy today, to be honest. I have another reader that I follow every day quite closely. Love their readings. But they also canceled their readings for tonight because they were saying that they were feeling pretty foggy. So maybe I find the more I get tapped in, the more I work with the cards, the more I engage with, the mystic side of me that lives in everybody, the more sensitive to the energies I become. Wow, that's really funny. That card came out when I went live on Facebook earlier today. So, yeah, it's very interesting to notice the sensitivity as it increases, the more tapped in you get and in alignment with your own intuitive ability. And I equate intuition with being psychic. So what does it mean to be psychic? It means different things for a lot of people. Yeah, gosh, crazy energy today. Being psychic means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. It really depends on how in touch you are with various energies, with various levels, realms, energy bodies, those sorts of things. You can be claircognizant, clairvoyant, all these different forms. For myself, I would say I'm an intuitive. So I read the cards based upon what I see and what feeling I get. Every card can have so many different meanings, and it transforms every time you read. This is absolutely crazy because the 2 out of the 3 cards that are in front of me right now came out earlier when I went live on Facebook. So it's blowing my mind here. But anyway, so we got the Wheel of Fortune, which was the first card out. In the other reading today, we also got the 7 of Swords, and we've also got our 4 of Pentacles. So if you're familiar with the tarot, you already know that Pentacles is earth energy. It means career, finance, the body. It can also mean hearth and home as well to some people. And then our sword energy is air energy. So the realm of the mind, lessons learned, usually challenging lessons, mindset, thought processes. And the Wheel of Fortune. So today has been entirely for all the readings that I've done has been so much about this concept of pivoting. So if you can imagine, if you are in a place, maybe it's a place you don't want to be. Maybe it's a place you do want to be. But for a lot of us, many of us are feeling quite stuck at the moment with the current global situation. We're reading for the collective. So we're all in one way or another being affected by COVID. And the Wheel of Fortune offers us this concept of the 360 degrees, right? And we can see ourselves or perceive ourselves to be in one place. And it doesn't matter where we go in our lives, we are the common denominator, right? So if you are not where you want to be and you would like to be in a different place, whether it's, a few steps differently or if it's a 180-degree change, we have an opportunity in this moment, even in our stuckness, even in our feelings of stagnation, even in our potentially feelings of being trapped. Depends on your scenario. But the one thing that we can do is we can pivot. So a pivot can be 1 millimeter. You can be in the same spot. You don't have to go anywhere. And you just shift a little bit the way that you're looking at things. In a month, in 2 months, in 6 months, in a year, in several years, everything can look very, very different. So the Wheel of Fortune reminds us that even if we're stuck here and we're going this direction, we don't like it, we can always just pivot a little bit and wind up somewhere completely different. Very, very different. We can even do a 180 if we want. We could do a whole 360 if we want, because hey, time is not linear. We move in cycles, right? So that's what this is about. And the amazing thing about the cards that came out, I know that these ones aren't usually considered very positive cards, but I do want to speak to the overarching themes that have been coming through today for people. We need a shift in mindset. It's about value, right? It's about not what can I take, right? This is getting away, taking, leaving. I mean, we do want to leave some mindset behind. This might be taking what's beneficial and leaving the rest. Take what you can, leave the rest. I always say that with the collective readings. There's an opportunity at the moment to shift our mindset. And I think in the other reading, our oracle card that came out was the abundance card. Right now, some people are still feeling abundant. Some people are even profiting off of the situation in the world, but a lot of people aren't. So if we're not feeling abundant, if we're feeling that we don't have a lot of resources, a lot of it's situational, but a lot of it is also mindset. So how can we get creative? How can we get into a place where we can feel abundant and get into that energy, even if it has not yet manifested? Maybe it won't manifest for quite a while down the road. Maybe it'll manifest tomorrow. You never know. You may shift in an instant simply by deciding, you know what, I'm going to feel abundant right now. I know that I'm worthy of making money. I know that I'm worthy of charging for my services because what I provide is valuable. And all of a sudden, you start getting requests for your services. People start valuing your work and asking you for what it is that you do. It's beautiful, it's magical, it's very hard to even understand the mechanisms of it, but it is available to us. So this energy of feeling closed down, this energy of not having enough, of feeling a little bit trapped in circumstance, but also like we can't really make a move, that's the energy of the card. But much of it is this lack mindset, right? I don't say poverty mindset. And the reason for that is because poverty is a very complicated thing. That is a macro level, large perspective issue with a lot of factors that play in. Poverty is not about self-worth. What is about self-worth is whether you perceive yourself able to create abundance creatively, right? So someone who values themselves, values their service, recognizes the gifts that they have to give the world, that person's probably going to be doing a lot better in terms of their abundance, their income, their finances, than someone who perceives what they do is not even like, what's the point? Why would I bother? There's no point in trying. That person's doing it better than me. They've had a head start. I'm behind. I can't do this. Whatever the reasoning, right? We need to be able to shift that mindset and start to accept the fact that we are absolutely worthy of more abundance in our lives, security, finances, those sorts of things that so many of us grow up being socialized by friends and family, society, to think that we are not worthy of. Maybe we believe that we can't run our own business. Maybe we believe that our time is only worth a little bit, As long as you have the skills, truly have the skills, you could go from charging $10 for something that you do to 100 or 100 to 1,000, who knows? At this time, of course, it's beautiful and important to share gifts with those who are struggling as well. We do want to make sure that we make our services accessible to people, but ultimately knowing your worth is really, really important. So today is a pivot point. It's a mindset shift. What can I do from where I am right now? How can I shift the way that I look at myself and the world around me to be more abundant? And how can I make the best of the current scenario? What can I take with me and what am I going to leave behind? Especially in terms of mindset. I think it has to do with money mindset. So let's see what else comes through. Ooh. Movement. 8 of Wands. The energy of movement. Need to get going, get started, try again. Maybe you had things that you were doing this year. You had projects, you had stuff that you intended to do. I know I did, and it didn't necessarily manifest. Sorry, there's a card on the floor. It didn't necessarily manifest. Things didn't go as planned. So what are you going to do right now, today? Every single day is an opportunity for you to start over again. Right? Start from where you are with what you have, with what you've learned. How can I carry that into the current situation now? Because I can't get the time back. Trust me, it's something that I've also struggled with. This, oh my goodness, so much waste time, stuck in this mindset or not taking action, whatever it is. There is a reason for it. Something's blocked. You weren't able to proceed. That is okay. So what are you going to do from this point forward? Got our 8 of Wands. Make a move. Even if it's just a little one, even if it's just taking an inch down the road, that inch will turn into a mile. Okay? The next thing that I'm seeing right now, very interesting for anyone who hops on or watches the replay, got Page of Swords in reverse. I don't usually do reversals, but it fell out upside down. So our Page of Swords has to do with messages. It could be social media. It can be gossip. It can be, it's an immature energy. So that's why it gets associated with gossip. But yes, this can be potentially feeling overwhelmed by social media. What you're seeing, a lot of like compare and despair is what I call it when, we're looking at images of other people and their progress and their business, their abundance, whatever it is, and comparing ourselves. And it's not fair because it's like apples and oranges or, a grape and a grapefruit. They're totally different. Maybe you're a star fruit and someone else is a kumquat. Like, who knows? Why would you compare? Take only what you need from them. Inspiration. Take the inspiration, but leave the rest. If it's going to turn into something negative, leave it. That's garbage. That's heaviness. You don't need it. Only take the inspiration and then do something with it, right? Maybe today is not the day to look at the social media. Maybe today is not the day to go down that route, making that vision board. Maybe today is a day where there's a bit of heaviness and not feeling good enough or not feeling abundant. But do recognize that you can pivot and you're going to. That is the energy. Also, the gossip factor with this card coming out in reverse, there could be some things. Just be conscientious of how you speak today. Don't talk about people behind their backs. It's a way that often we build friendship and bond with certain people is gossiping about other people. It's not a mature approach. Be in your emotional maturity. Don't go down that road. And if you find that someone's doing that with you, take the higher road. Know that you're better than that. Know that, you are so much more worthy than anyone else gets to determine. There's a possibility that maybe you're waiting for a message to come through and it just doesn't, and you're really banking on it. You're really hoping for that happy ending or that joy. Maybe that person is not your happy ending and not your joy because those two came out together upside down. Your 10 of Cups and your Page of Swords. The desire for emotional fulfillment, the happily ever after. Maybe it's the relationship, the family, security, whatever it is. Maybe this person is not that person to you. So just be cognizant of that today and don't get too focused on it. If there's a little disappointment around it, don't worry, there's other fish in the sea. I know it can feel tough right now with the current situation globally. It's a little harder to date, a little harder to make those connections, but maybe now is not the time if that message isn't coming through. Or if the message comes through, maybe it's going to be tomorrow. Who knows? That might write itself. Let's see what else comes through. My channel is fairly new and I definitely wasn't on the ball for the past few months. So I'm looking forward to the day when these live streams have lots of people and we can chit chat and it'll be so much fun. Ace of Swords. Yes, truth, clarity, decisiveness. Also a recognition of your divine truth. Who are you independent from this other person? Who are you? Who do you want to become? This is what I'm feeling with this, the Wheel of Fortune. It's like today is a day to reflect, even if you're not feeling great. Today is a day to reflect on what is your truth? Who do you want to become? What do you want to embody? That's what this is all about. It's a beautiful invitation. And the swords are realm of the mind. So it really is about mindset, cognition. How do we think about ourselves and how do we speak to ourselves? Really, really important. And it's divinely guided because we've got the hand of spirit right here holding that sword. It's about stepping into what I absolutely love and was chatting about on my other live, the queen energy. I'm all about queen energy these days. I haven't been feeling in my queen energy, but that's even more of an indication that it needs to be tapped into and reflected on. So this is about what is the truth that you need to embody that makes you feel royal, regal, and like a queen, a king, a monarch, emperor, empress, whatever it is to you. What is your truth? What's the ultimate truth when you cut away all of the belief systems that weren't working for you anymore, all of the things that kept you believing that you weren't good enough? Today's the day to reflect on that. What do you want to be? Because yes, life does unfold before us and there's so much chance, who knows, but there's also a certain energy of you do have a destiny and you can shift timelines when you want to. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is pointing to. What are you going to do to shift that for yourself? And if you want to shift it, what is it you want to be shifting to? Have some clarity on that. It's a beautiful break in the energy. I'm really glad that it's shifting because I think there's been a lot of heaviness the past few days for sure. Ooh, yeah, okay. 3 of Wands. So this is an individual who has walked that path. They're looking a little bit ragged, but they're okay. They're still standing strong. They've got these ideas, several of them, in fact, and they're getting the lay of the land. They can't see the valley underneath exactly, but they can see the horizon. So that's a metaphor. Looking at the horizon, keeping your eye on the horizon, the North Star, and that comes from defining your values and what it is you want to be. It doesn't matter so much what the path is going to be. You need to try and enjoy the ride goal, but continue to move towards your goals. And it looks like you're considering several of them. Yeah, I love that. Also, 3s are ruled by the Empress energy. So there's a queenness, a regal royalness that it penetrates the energy of the 3s, even 3 of Swords, believe it or not, which we don't have on the table, so you don't have to worry about that. But this is about ultimately making your game plan. What is it that you want? What do you want to be? Get clear on it so that you can start taking the steps. Start taking the steps and don't worry so much about the message that doesn't necessarily come through. If you're waiting for a message for somebody and you're not hearing it, maybe that person's not for you, you know? So maybe it's a beautiful time. They say rejection is God's protection. Maybe it's a beautiful time to reorient yourself back towards yourself, your values, what it is that you need, and what it is you want to be. Thank you for the thumbs up, my one person. I hope you say hi. I thought the number 1 was like, oh, that's just me. It's just me reading alone. But there is someone here. That's excellent. Oh, beautiful. Oh, this is so nice. Okay. So once we get into that energy of the queen, right? And anyone can be a queen. It doesn't matter the gender. So you could be a male individual and still get queen energy cards. It's simply about the energy of royalty. the monarch. It's beautiful. The queens just tend to be a little bit more about flow and flexibility, whereas the kings are very like yang energy, very firm, steadfast, less flexible. So we get the star coming out with the Knight of Wands. Beautiful. Interesting combination. So, yes, there's something here to be said about engaging with your creativity, also potentially your sexuality. And don't let this phase you. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to put yourself out there in terms of your sexuality. That's not what this means at all. But it is very important to recognize that within many spiritual traditions, the sacral chakra, so the second chakra, the one that is represented like just below your belly button, that is considered the sexual center. It's about flow, it's about creativity, it's about inspiration, and there's something incredibly powerful about sexual energy. There's a reason why in some traditions they do not engage in sexuality. They cultivate the sexual energy and then they use that as rocket fuel to move them forward on their path towards enlightenment. And then the other hand, we've got traditions like what we call left hand tantra. Left hand, is it left hand or right hand? I think it's left hand. Anyways, the hands don't really matter. Certain branches of Tantra instead focus on cultivating the sexual energy in order to what we call sublimate. So you still engage in sexual practices with yourself or other people. You're still using it as your rocket fuel, but you're expanding it rather than choosing not to engage in that path. So the Knight of Wands, this is fire energy. My roommate is back, and I left my door open. I'm live on YouTube. I have one person watching, and I forgot to close the door. That's okay. So there's an energy about this card where it can be the sexual energy, but it can also just mean your creativity and really wanting to move forward with it. I feel like in combination with our Eight of Wands, it's like the movement after a period. I just saw 22 on the clock. So there's this 22 is my lucky number. It's this nod from spirit towards you are making the shift. You are coming out of stagnation. It's beautiful. You are on the precipice. You're ready to go. You're just scoping it out. And it's not Two of Wands energy, which is someone who hasn't left the castle yet. I don't know if you're familiar with the Two of Wands energy, but it's a person looking out over into the bay, looking at the potential outside, but they still stand inside the castle. This is someone who's walked pretty far. They've really worked. You've learned a lot. You are an extremely creative person, and you're going to go a lot further. So this is, it's incredible to see so much wand energy out on the table. I'm loving this so much. Please forgive me. I've got these swollen glands. I feel like I can barely talk right now. Sore throat. It came out with the star. So there's something about finally allowing yourself to engage with that fire energy. Maybe you've been feeling like really suppressed for a long time, feeling the heaviness, feeling a disconnect from your energy, from your creativity, from the things that light you up, from your magic. But you will find that your self-expression, becoming the star of your own life, and also the establishment of your North Star. So what guides you, your values, your vision, who you want to be, all of that will become expressed once you allow yourself to engage with that creativity, once you allow yourself to engage with potentially your sexual energy, but mostly fire energy. That's the element that you want to engage with. So slowly inviting that creativity into your life. That is when you will get to express the identity, the power of the star, right? Truly falling in love with yourself, your essence, who you really are. Finally valuing what it is that you are instead of what so many of us do for so long until we start to wake up to our divine nature on the spiritual path. Many of us lead pretty challenging lives up until that point, till we realize we have to wake up to our own value and our divinity. But to get to that point can be very, very challenging, and we can not recognize our own value. Other thing I want to point out The beautiful thing about this card, so this card also represents Aquarius energy. And there are these little stars around here. You can see them. There's 7 of them. They represent the chakras as well. And then others, maybe it's the root chakra, because we're talking about our view of ourselves and how much we are worthy of financially, right? Maybe it is your third eye, your Ajna chakra here, which is about your spiritual enlightenment and awakening, being able to see the world truly as it is, being able to see yourself truly as you are. That does mean shadow work. It means taking off the blinders, seeing into your blind spots, and taking radical responsibility. That's very challenging for everyone if they're willing to go there. But it's a huge part of growing up. It's a huge part of claiming your sovereignty, dominion over your own life. And things really start to shift when you do that. So this is an invitation from Spirit as well. I'm going to do a couple of little oracle cards. Lovely to still have you here. My shy person, not saying hi, but that's okay. See what message we have coming through for us today from Spirit, if any. Yang, oh man. Months and months and months I had been getting the yin card over and over and over again. Yin, like relax, care, that sort of like receptive energy, gentleness. Yin is still high vibration. Yang isn't the only high vibration, so don't get that mixed up. That was something that I struggled to understand that concept for a long time. I thought that yin was low vibration and yang was high vibration, but it's not that way. It's you've got your high vibration states and your low vibration states, and then yin and yang actually moves this way. But with all those fire energy cards today, we get the yang card. So this really is an invitation. It's a call to action. It's a call to action from Spirit saying, who do you want to be? What do you want to accomplish? And what can you do now from exactly where you are to pivot, to spin the wheel, to make a change? This is your opportunity. So take that chance. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be small. That's what a pivot is from this point. Even if you're stuck in your quarantine, even if you're stuck in the household, you can't go anywhere. What can you do now, today, from exactly where you are to pivot? Because in 6 months from now, you'll be in a very different place. So that's what this is about. An invitation from Spirit to engage in yang energy, light your own fire. Hi there. Lovely to have you. To engage with your firepower, your creativity, and put yourself out there. Little by little, it's going to start to manifest, and it has to do with tapping into fire energy, knowing your own worth, all of these really, really important things, and also starting to loosen your grip on who it is you thought you were, because you get to rewrite the story. So a part of what I do is I'm in training to become a counselor. And one of the approaches is to rewrite our story at any point if we want to. We can't change the things that have happened, but we can change the story around them, how we perceive them, the energy, and we can move from a state of potentially challenge, regret, difficulty, moving into what we would call post-traumatic growth. So choosing to learn lessons and take what you can and leave the rest behind. If it doesn't serve you, leave it behind. I love this energy. What an amazing reading. I am so pleased with this. For those who just hopped on, I invite you to watch the replay when you can. I'm going to wrap it up because my throat's pretty sore right now. If you're interested in a private reading, I'm happy to do that. It's my love, my joy, my passion. This is what I want to do all the time. Please do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Slowly, we are getting, I think I'm at like 40 subscribers right now, but this is my joy, this is my dream. So I invite you to subscribe if you like. Hi, Alfredo. Hi, Cardinal. Lovely to have you here. And let me know if you'd like a reading. You can reach out and we'll set something up. and I will be back with another live very, very soon. I am sending you so much love. I hope you have a wonderful day, and keep reflecting on this. Believe in yourself. Know your worth and your worthiness. Okay. Bye, guys.